A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant show of civil disobedience, 141 individuals were arrested in Newcastle, New South Wales, as they attempted to block the shipping channel during the rising tide protests that began on Thursday. The protests, which are part of a larger movement advocating for urgent climate action, saw demonstrators take to the waters in kayaks and other watercraft, effectively halting operations at one of Australia's busiest shipping ports. On Sunday morning, the protests escalated when 3 activists suspended themselves from a bulk carrier, unfurling a banner that called for immediate action on climate change. This bold move drew attention to the ongoing environmental crisis and the role of fossil fuels in exacerbating it. The protesters have established a campsite at Foreshore Park, where they plan to remain until Tuesday, signaling their determination to continue raising awareness about climate issues. The Port Authority of New South Wales responded to the protests by cancelling all shipping movements for 3 hours on Sunday, a decision that underscores the impact of the rising tide demonstration. In a statement, the authority explained that the decision was made after assessing the risks posed by the protesters, stating, "A dynamic risk-based decision was made to abort the movement of an inbound ship movement due to alleged protester activity posing a risk to safety." This suspension not only affected the incoming bulk carrier, but also impacted 2 other vessels that were scheduled to dock at the port. As the protests unfolded, police reported that they had charged 121 individuals with marine-related offenses, highlighting the legal ramifications faced by those involved in the demonstration. The rising tide protests have drawn attention not only to the immediate actions taken by activists, but also to the broader implications of climate change and the urgent need for government and corporate accountability. The Rising Tide Group, which has organized these annual protests for several years, aims to bring attention to the ongoing reliance on coal and other fossil fuels, which they argue are detrimental to the planet's health. By blocking coal ships and disrupting shipping operations, the activists seek to challenge the status quo and push for a transition to renewable energy sources. Local residents have expressed mixed feelings about the protests. While many support the activists' goals and recognize the need for urgent climate action, others are concerned about the disruptions caused by the protests, particularly in a port city where shipping is vital to the local economy. The tensions between economic interests and environmental concerns are palpable, as Newcastle grapples with its identity as a coal exporting hub and the growing need for sustainable practices. As the protests continue, the Rising Tide Group has called for greater public engagement in climate discussions, urging citizens to demand action from their elected officials. They believe that grassroots movements are essential in pushing for policy changes that prioritize environmental sustainability over short-term economic gains. The situation in Newcastle serves as a microcosm of the global struggle for climate justice, where communities are increasingly taking matters into their own hands in the face of government inaction. As the impacts of climate change become more pronounced, it is likely that we will see more protests like those in Newcastle, as citizens demand a more sustainable future for generations to come. In the coming days, all eyes will be on Newcastle as the Rising Tide protesters continue their demonstration. Will they succeed in drawing more attention to the climate crisis? Will their actions lead to meaningful change? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: the fight for a sustainable future is far from over. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.